So the National Federation for Republican Assemblies, which is a grassroots movement within the Republican Party, it's trying to band together all these different groups of conservative Republicans together to give them a stronger voice within the Republican Party. But they go after some ridiculous stuff. They want to repeal the 17th Amendment, which allows for the direct election of senators, and go back to how it used to be, which was senators are appointed by your state legislature. Why? Because in red states, voter turnout, if Democrats show up and elect a Democrat, even though the state house is Republican controlled, now there's a Democrat controlling that seat. And if they let the state legislature pick the senator, well, they would be Republican all the time. That's what they want. But beyond that, they are trying to, and the article I read and the couple things I've read on it don't say how they intend to try to get this enforced in any way. They dredged up the Dred Scott decision from the Supreme Court, one of the worst decisions ever by the Supreme Court, and they're trying to use that to base a case for why Vice President Kamala Harris cannot be on the ballot and is ineligible to serve as President of the United States. Now, before I dig into all the details, I want to say I don't believe this would go anywhere. But what is the Dred Scott decision? Well, Dred Scott was a slave living in a free territory where slavery was outlawed, and after living there for, I think it was 10 years, sued trying to get his freedom, and ultimately the Supreme Court said, well, you were born into slavery, you were not born to citizen parents, therefore you are not a citizen, you don't have rights, you have no standing to sue, you don't get your freedom. And like I said, it's considered one of the worst decisions by the Supreme Court, ultimately overturned by the 13th Amendment, which outlawed slavery, and the 14th Amendment, which gave birthright citizenship to people who are born within the United States. But what is their goal with this? Besides getting Kamala Harris kicked off the ballot, potentially, or removed from being the president if it doesn't go through till after she's sworn in. And they tried this with Vivek Ramaswamy, and they tried it with Nikki Haley. But their goal, I believe, is they're trying to get some sort of a ruling out of the Supreme Court on birthright citizenship, requiring not only to be born within the borders of the United States, but also born to citizen parents, at least one. That way they can stop what they think is a bad practice, which is what is termed as an anchor baby. And an anchor baby is a baby that is born here who has citizenship, whose parents are not citizens, but who are granted citizenship or resident status at least to care for their child who is a citizen. And I think that's what they're looking for ultimately. But Republicans, once again, trying to disqualify somebody based on nothing, digging up really old stuff. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but man, they are trying.